Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some equestrian age character. And Du is today's character. Du, if you study Chinese a little bit, you most likely came across this one, not because it means metropolis. Actually, it's pronounced as Do, means all, O-L-L. And somewhat, these two very different meanings share the same character, pronounced differently so that you can easily differentiate. But I guess there is a common thread in there because metropolis is where people gather. And when many people gather, they are all likely to do something, kind of share some features. Therefore, 都 becomes this all-inclusive kind of term. So, okay, let's get back to the 都 because it's related to the almost like the governance during the equestrian age when people can travel far on horse or fight far away tribes so that you have bigger piece of land. And because the land mass increase, then the concentration of population in a particular, I guess, a favorable location, as there is a transportation hub, or because it's close to a kind of a source of something or marketplace, then it became like a bigger and bigger. Then this concept of Metropolis became possible. And so we have such a character, right? Do how Chinese express do, as you can see, simplified traditional, they look the same. And 2000 years ago, its dictionary is way more curvatures in there, way more complicated. Let me unpack for you. So first look at the right one. The right one in today's Chinese circle, we would um, summarize it as 耳刀旁 means a radical that looks like the ear shape because this is how Chinese visualize how ear, especially like a Buddha's ear, kind of have this dent in, and then this is your earlobe. By the way, Chinese culture totally appreciate it. The bigger the earlobe, the better. That's why you see Buddhas. Oh God, this huge outside the earlobe. So this is a Chinese visualization of ear, and so we call it the 耳刀刀. It's like it's almost looking like the knife radical, but it got this dent in there that looks like more like a ear. So 耳刀旁. However, when you look at the 2000 years ago dictionary, it's way more things over there and way more curvatures, right? And it's two part. It's not just one big stroke. Actually, it's two strokes in today's rendering, but in the past, it's like okay, a circular thing there. That actually means the land, even if visually it looks like only take like a speck, like take a small portion on the 2D frame. But it means land. It's an abstract land. It's not honestly depicting your Google map thing. Okay. And then the bottom is a person in a kneeling position. So how do we visualize that? This vertical line means the front body, kind of front side. And for Chinese, the default orientation is leftward facing. So you visualize this as this is a person sitting on their heels, facing toward the left. So this is around the head. So of course, we didn't go to the details of depicting head, but this is a back torso. Your hamstrings, your calves, and here is your heels. Side profile view. So you only see one side, right? Half of you presented there. And this kneeling position is a body gesture to show submission. So these are people who are governed by you, who are not going to fight you because they are in a kneeling, like a sitting on the heel position. So that population under governance and the land, both people and the place combined together is the concept of this is a unit of governance. You're governing the resources of the land as well as the people on this land. All right, the morning sun just comes out in my back. Okay. And the left side, 者 I talked about this job before, and this is my own discovery, my story about why means equivalent of the Python code def. When you try to define something and you give it a name about what that thing is, and then you describe the procedures, what that thing goes through, and then you return a value. So a box you created in and out, and this def is this box thing. And def is the keyword given to the Python program that you're now defining some procedure. So this is a Chinese equivalent of def that we use the mouse symbol with, well, actually, this is a sun symbol, excuse me, with horizontal line, that energetic ball thing, and then with a spike going up. So Chinese only use one sun ray, just like behind me is a distributed, I guess, through the blade, what's it called? The curtains. Then you see multiple rays, but Chinese don't bother to do that. It's a super abstraction of the physical world. So it's just one vertical line means sun ray, and then you see this thing. Okay, this shape is like something crisscrossing, which is usually the case in our reality that things are entangled. It got multiple threads going in there and influencing how the thing is going to work. And I forgot how I described this two dots in there, but it's like upward pointing, and also kind of separated. So the whole idea of depth, what depth is to shed light on something with that one beam of sun ray poking through an entangled situation so that you have a clarity of what a thing is. That's how Chinese define that definition, define. Okay, all right. I like that. Okay, so when we have this definition thing, plus this place, people combined unit of government thing, then together it means metropolis. It's basically is this people and the place together combined is the definition we are presenting here. And what metropolis is a gathering of people on that place. So people, oh, well, if visually to depicting a physical world, it would be the people sitting on top of the land, right? And then that's the definition of what metropolis is. Okay, 首都, 首 means the head, and we pair head with metropolis means the capital of a country. So we have regional capitals, which is like in America, it's a state capital. We also, wait, do we call the capital? The capital of each state, and then also have the Washington, D.C. Capital of the whole nation. And 首都 is the national level capital. So we call it the head metropolis. Okay, because that's where the brain of supposedly this country's brain located in the capital. All right, 都市. So 市 is more like a marketplace. It's the where transactions happen, where people gather to make business, to cut deals, and we pair that metropolis with market to describe today's general metropolis. We normally don't think of what metropolis is, right? It's where people live, where people trade, as well. So here we just emphasize the trading part of what metropolis entails. 大都市, okay, big metropolis market. We add a big, okay. As you may know, that China would have this top tier, second tier, third tier, all the way. I guess I hear like tier 6, tier 7, kind of different magnitude of the metropolis, defined by either landmass or the population. So together, the two, I guess, among many metrics that define metropolis, and then there are this great level as to what scale that would be. So 大都市 will be the top tier. And of course, we talked about the Chinese top tier cities are only four: 北上广深, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, or Canton, and Shenzhen, where it's close to Hong Kong. So that 大都市 is kind of equivalent to New York and Los Angeles and Chicago, the top tier, big, influential, like historically important, and still many till today. Many people gather over there, do their business. They have their many industries. So that is that kind, and Chinese simply add that big in front of it. So here is Shanghai and 东方之珠 Oriental Pearl, okay, is we have to emphasize that, okay, now China grows, developed. I mean, even if there is antagony these days of this competition, blah, blah, blah. But here we still have a view of what Metropolis, the representation of Metropolis in China looks like. It will be Shanghai, the number one, even if Bei, like we often terms it with Beijing is in front of Shanghai. But when it comes to this international integration, then Shanghai is the window, the first stop you go to see how China, modern China, totally urbanized, developed China look like. So here I simply say, hi, Shanghai. And that's our metropolis here. Thank you very much. See you another day.